Hey guys, we just got back from the theater after watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and needless to say, it's pretty late, so we're gonna try and get through this review as quickly as we can, so please enjoy. Okay, so what can we say about Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Here's the thing. I have like a personal viewpoint about how I feel about Marvel movies and general superhero movies these days, whether it's Marvel or DC or movies like that, and just how I generally feel about the genre these days. So I'm going to try to avoid that as best I can and try just to critique the movie for what it is, okay? Because I really, really understand how much of an attachment people have not only to Marvel, but probably to Guardians in particular, because there was so much love for the first movie. Yeah. There was a lot of love for the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which I completely understand of how much of a different niche of people it brought in. Needless to say, and I feel like this is a fair assessment, judging by what we've seen other people express about this movie. In general, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a good movie for all intents and purposes.
It's okay.
It's okay. But it doesn't, at least to some people who really may have loved the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it may not hold up as much as the first one. Now, to credit, I would feel like as far as the directorial choices they took, as far as what they chose to focus on, may be warranted in this movie because it's very much more of a character movie, which I can agree with, but we can argue all day about how they went about trying to execute it and what they tried to throw into the story itself and whether it fits or not, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it did have a few issues with tying everything together fluidly, but it also, they probably knew that going into this movie it was a character development movie, and in that instance it's kind of hard to mash together action with character development. So I can kind of see that issue.
Well, you kind of know how I feel about just action in general. There doesn't need to be a whole lot of action. I understand it's kind of a thing about Marvel movies. I get it. I totally understand it. But there doesn't need to be action as far as trying to swamp out the entire movie as if it's an expectation these days for Marvel movies, which I understand that it is. I understand that action is a thing. High action is just something that's anticipated for Marvel movies these days. But when I see something a little bit more, I guess you can say, innate, hence character, I can be drawn to it a little bit more. Now, do I have a personal feeling if I feel like this is better than the first one? I don't really know. I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt as for what it is, as far as the story as a whole.
The first one wowed me. It's wowed me so much to where I watch it repeatedly.
But you can't really pinpoint as to why it wowed you.
Well, it's just everything fluidly flowed properly. I don't know, it captivates you, it grabs your interest, it gives you your action sequences that they're just at the right time in the movie. It was just a very well planned, very well developed movie. But this one just did not have that. It had a lot of good points. I loved a lot of parts of this movie, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't wow me. That's kind of one of those things that when I go into a superhero movie, I'm expecting to be wowed, regardless if it's a sequel or whatnot. There's Pirates of the Caribbean, and the next one's going to come out. I don't know.
That's a whole other story. And no offense to Pirates fans, but anyway. I feel like, okay, it's just, again, it just comes with the novelty that comes with Marvel movies. Now, can you acknowledge that if it was just a standalone thing, from a technical aspect, is it still an okay movie?
Yeah, I would definitely go see it.
Things like acting and animations and writing and directing and...
Regardless of any of that, just as a fan in general of superhero, regardless if it's a specific universe or not, I would still go see it just for the character development. I mean,
Okay.
to understand
Well, of
Peter
course.
Quill and where what that little unknown DNA that he had at the first movie. I mean, hey, you wanted to get that knowledge. You want to know what
Yeah, I
happened,
guess
so.
of course, if you're interested in the story of Guardians, you're still gonna watch it. You're still gonna want to see it. It's like, I mean, and I'm not trying to compare this. I'm not trying to compare this in any shape or form. But it's like the same reason why fans of Star Wars still went to go see episodes 2 and 3, even though episode 1 sucked, because they want to see it eventually tie in to the whole saga as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a very lucid comparison. But again, if you're a Marvel fan in general, you're gonna want to see Guardians. It's just how it is. I mean, it's just you're gonna want to see how the Infinity Stone ties into what the Avengers are gonna have to do, how Thanos gets brought into the whole shebang. You have to know that stuff. And despite how detached Guardians is from the main Marvel course based story, again, I feel like Guardians itself may have started off as a very niche, small fan community and brought in so much different people for its style and tone that it brought.
Yeah.
And it feels that way for this second movie, but probably just, what would you say, just not as strongly, or just the movie itself, as far as how it structured itself, took away the small justices that made the first movie good. I mean, is there anything else you want to add on besides that? Without spoiling anything, obviously.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a okay movie. It's good.
Ish.
Don't mistake my comment as being lack of love, because yes, I have a huge affinity for this series and the Marvel Universe, but I was disappointed. I really was. I mean, I expected a lot more from the movie.
And entirely disappointed, or just in a bad way? I mean, I guess that's how you can describe disappointed, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make or break anything for how you feel about it.
Right.
It doesn't take away it doesn't feel like it lost its charm.
No.
There's nothing inherently that got squashed about the charm that is Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Okay, I guess that's all I'm just trying to say. I'm not saying it's like a devastatingly bad movie. No, it's not. I just don't want to convey that when we say the word disappointed. It's just, that's all I'm trying to say. But anyway, as far as a whole, I don't really know if I can give this really a grade. That's just, again, it's just something to be interpreted by all fans who watch this. And I feel like it may be somewhat mixed, but generally the reception to the movie is mostly positive. Roughly is what I can say. Of course it's going to be.
Like I said, it's a good-ish movie. It's just not... Yeah.
So, I know that's kind of the short and sweet of it, but that's basically our Guardians of the Galaxy 2. If you like the first one, you should still go see it. You don't need to avoid it, but go see it. As far as if you're a big Marvel fan, you'll most likely will like this film, and you obviously need to see it as far as how it ties into the whole scope that is the Marvel universe in general. And it feels like it's gonna fit in how it's gonna need to fit in as far as all the movies that have been released so far. So I would say definitely, for sure, if you're a Marvel's fan, go check it out. But if you're just someone like me who's not really tied to the franchise to begin with for like nostalgic purposes or something, you may feel like it's just like another add-on or something. Or if you're trying to compare it to the first one, it may not feel like it quite lives up to the first one. And that's pretty much a summary of how we felt about Guardians, and I'm sure how many people are also going to feel about Guardians as well. I guess hopefully stay tuned for more reviews. We plan to go and check out a couple of other movies. Hopefully we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just stay tuned for more, and we'll see y'all soon.